Hey y'all, welcome back. Today we're gonna do something a little bit different. I wanna break down one of my favorite music videos that I've ever done. This is the video I created for Graveshadow. The song is called Soldier of 34. This video holds kind of a special place in my heart for several different reasons. This was my first large production video after COVID, so I really wanted to go all out. The pre-production for this was hell. It took almost 6 months just to get this thing done because it was during COVID. The original pre-production started towards the end of 2020. We were originally supposed to shoot in the November-December range, but COVID lockdowns shut the whole thing down, so we had to push it back. After 6 months of planning, we were finally able to get this production scheduled for March of 2021. Luckily, we were able to keep that production date. So the song itself is actually in reference to a popular anime called Attack on Titan. It actually takes place during a very specific time of that anime where Eren is supposedly dead and Mikasa is now realizing that he is dead. They wanted to bring the feel and the essence of the anime into the video, so we had to find some locations, we had to get costumes, we had to put props together, we had to plan everything out so that it was all perfect. We had to find a couple of locations. The first location that we needed to secure was where the band was going to do the playthrough shots. Luckily, my neighbor at the time was working for the Hammer Theater in San Jose, California. Now, with all the shutdowns, they weren't doing any shows, so we were able to use their stage and lighting for all of the band playthrough shots, which was just fantastic. The other thing that they had was a dry ice fog machine, so I was able to get some dry ice to fill that up, and we got some really cool fogging effects that just sticks to the floor and looks ambient, and I love it. The next location we needed to secure was the first part of the storyline. This required the actress to be waking up from a dream sequence, and she would be finding herself in an abandoned, old style looking tavern kind of place. So I hopped onto Peerspace. I found this location in San Francisco that was just perfect. Excellent little hostel that has all of this wood paneling along the walls and a beautiful fireplace and some stained glass windows and everything. It just fit the bill perfectly. Our last location that we needed was an outdoor location. We needed a hilltop where the entire video was going to culminate in the end. I found a location in the greater Bay Area called Little Yosemite, and it was just perfect. It had this picturesque hilltop that we could fly drone around and get the shots that we needed. If you've seen my video on the anamorphic lenses, then you know another reason why this video is particularly special to me. This is the first video that I shot with anamorphic lenses, and it kind of changed my whole trajectory as a filmmaker from that point on. Let's go ahead and dive into the video. So the video starts off with this really cool smoky scene. I actually filmed this in my garage using a really old party fog machine that just kind of sucked, but it worked out okay. I just used some lighting and slowed down the frames to give it a wistful look, and then I just layered the footage on top of each other to kind of fill it out a bit more. So this is the first real scene of the video, and this is the dream sequence. So this is where Mikasa and Eren are together in her dream that she's about to wake up from. So this is at the top of the hill in Little Yosemite. I filmed this all at 60 frames per second so I could slow it down and give it a more dreamy kind of look. And then we start seeing some of the band come in. So at first, we made sure that we had the lights dimmed so that when the music really picked up, then all of the lights would come on and give a much more kind of dramatic feel. As the whole song builds, so does the lighting. So we've got the shot right here of Mikasa. Asleep on the table that she'll be waking up from. This is in the location that we found out in San Francisco, the hostel. So they wanted this big, dramatic, sweeping, slow motion hug scene that she's gonna wake up from as all of the music kicks in. So now we've got the band playing. The lights are kicked up even more, not quite to the full extension that we'll end up going, but pretty close. So you can see these beautiful blue anamorphic lens flares on this footage. The lenses that I had were known for very extreme lens flaring. A lot of people complained about it, and personally it's a matter of preference, but for this particular video, I think it worked out perfectly. So this is the location. in San Francisco that we filmed at. It's got this really cool kind of coat of arms built into the stained glass behind her, and you can see the big banister around the fireplace here and the beautiful wood. I mean, there's a leather couch in the back, but there's only so much you can do, right? Just don't focus on that. So here you can really see that low-lying fog. This is the dry ice fog. So that's the only way that you can get fog to stick on the ground like that, is running it through a dry ice fog machine. Otherwise, it's just gonna dissipate into the air and just equalize. Dry ice fog does eventually equalize, it just takes a lot longer. Okay, so she wakes up and she's looking around, trying to figure out where she is at. Guitars are wailing. Stands up in slow motion. So this shot right here, the way we did the lighting was actually kind of interesting. I was trying to make it look like there was sunlight coming in through the windows behind her, but we didn't have a large enough light source. So I actually took two separate lights and put them through the window, kind of pointing down at the same angle. So it kind of gives the illusion that there is a singular light source, but it's almost as if there's a hallway behind her, and then that light is coming through another window source behind her. So ultimately it ended up working. Most people won't notice, but fun little detail. And here we've got Rachel. Rachel's the singer, well, obviously, duh. We filmed a bunch of these kind of close-up shots where we put the dry ice fog machine through a tube and ran it right up her back, so that would kind of be billowing around from behind her back. Okay, so she's kind of walking around slowly, trying to get her bearings on where she's at, so on and so forth. So here, we put, as you can see, we put Aaron and Rachel back to back and stuck the dry ice fog machine in between them, so that'd be kind of billowing from between them. It's okay, honestly, I wasn't in love with the shot, but they liked it a lot, so it stayed in. Okay, here comes the first of the effect shots in this video. So she trips over this mirror and she bends down. Now watch the reflection in the mirror in this next shot. So you can see Aaron appears behind her as an apparition. We put a bunch of makeup on him to kind of make him look really ghostly and dead. And I think it really worked with the lighting and everything in particular in the shot. So we had to stage it in a way that she would bend her knees down to the mirror and she would not block the entirety of the mirror, so his reflection would come through very clearly. So it took a lot of staging and figuring out to get it to sit properly. Okay, so we got the staging right and the shot ended up blending perfectly. There's only a few parts right down here where you can see her knee is overlapping him just a little bit. There was a little wonkiness with that, but nobody's paying attention. Okay, we're coming up to the second effects shot here. And it's the same thing, just done in a different place in a different style. So as you can see, she's running down these stairs and boom, pops Aaron. So you can see there's just a little bit of wonkiness in between. See right there, and there's a little wonky transition there, a little funky blend, but I wasn't very good with the effects and staging and that kind of stuff back then. So yeah, that's what you get. Everybody's got to figure it out somehow, right? And then he disappears and she moves forward. Very simple shot, just filmed it twice, doing the same motion with him in the frame and then doing the motion of her in the frame without either of them. Works out easily. This is actually one of my favorite shots in this entire video, is her coming down the stairs around this banister right here. There's just something really nice about seeing the feet, and it just floated, like the camera was floating perfectly down this thing. And then she reaches down and sees this red cord, or the red wire that she's going to follow. I love this shot right here. Gotta go back. This is just window lighting, just right over her shoulder. Just something about it is really striking to me, and I love it. Just one of my favorite shots. Gotta point that out. Okay, so she starts pulling on this thread and then leads to a door. We wanted to bleach out the door, so we overexposed the outside and kept the inside semi-properly exposed. And then we do a whiteout transition there. And then we're back to the dream sequence where she is chasing after this dream that Aaron is still alive. She believes it. and she can see him in his mind, yada, yada, yada. So we got all these beautiful shots of them just kind of being playful. Luckily, the actor and the actress were friends. It was just a chance for them to just kind of hang out and joke around with each other. So we got a really nice natural interactions in between them. It worked out. Okay, this shot right here was particularly difficult. So we wanted to have her running through the forest, pulling the thread as I'm chasing her sideways. I'm on the gimbal, I'm running through a forest, I'm jumping over logs and rocks and creeks just to make sure that I don't trip and drop my whole camera rig as I'm trying to run as fast as I can. So I'm not even paying attention to what I'm filming. We shot this maybe 6 or 7 times just to try and get it right. And luckily we got the shot. See, really nice. It's really short, that's all we got, but it was good enough. But this shot was much more difficult. So it's the same action, except I'm in front of her running backwards and I don't know what's behind me. So I wasn't able to get the focus on it. A little disappointed in myself for that one, but you know, it happens. And we got this nice, beautiful shot panning up and over as she runs across the camera. I always liked that one. And now we've got the guitar solo. So I'm particularly proud of myself for the color grading that I did on this video. I spent probably 2 months just trying to nail the color on it. I don't know if I've done as good of a job since. I just love the contrast between the greenery in the background and the brown of his guitar and the yellow of his hair and of his skin with the black. It's just really beautiful, just striking to me. I love it. Okay, now we're getting to the top of the hill with this big grand scene. So this was filmed on 2 days. On the Saturday, we filmed all of the band playthrough stuff at the Hammer Theater, and then we ran out to Little Yosemite to try and get to the dream sequence shots. Now, I'd actually rented a drone for this. It was the Mavic Pro 2 Zoom, I believe. And we were struggling with this thing to get it connected the entire time. We just could not get it to work. And so on that Saturday, that sweeping hugging shot in the beginning was actually supposed to be a drone shot, but we couldn't get the drone to sync up because there was no cell service out there, and I didn't think to do that ahead of time. Duh. On the second day, we filmed all of the storyline portions, and in the beginning of the day, we were in San Francisco, and then we rushed out again to Little Yosemite to get these last shots at the end of the day with the sunlight coming down over the hill. So we've got Rachel walking out, looking very majestic as always, singing her heart out to the camera. But some of these shots where you've got the backlit sun just peering over the mountaintop here with the beautiful greens striking against the red of her hair, it's just incredible. So we see the grand reveal at the end of the chord. She's devastated coming across. It's the gravestone for Aaron. Now, this is actually a fun piece of prop that was made. My guitarist, Klaus, his family owns a foam and packaging facility. And so he actually built this for me out of corrugated foam, and then they painted it and put on the stitching and the lettering. And it actually looks pretty incredible. I don't really know what happened to that. I think either Aaron or one of the other band members took it home with them. But yeah, it looks great. It's perfect. Here's the grand sweeping shot, the drone shot of Rachel belting out this last line as it whips around the sun. Just perfect. So we were struggling to try and get this drone to work on the second day too. We thought we had it figured out, but we were still having problems. And my buddy Charlie was actually helping me film this video. When we got out to Little Yosemite on the Sunday, we started having issues with the drone. So I sent him run around the park wherever he could to get the connectivity while I quickly try and filmed everything else that we needed to do. So I was kind of supplementing whatever drone shots that we were not getting at that time with just handheld running around. Funny enough, right as soon as the sun was about to go down, Charlie comes running up the hill and says, "I got it, it's working." And we scrambled to get Rachel in the shot. It worked out perfectly. And then we had to get this last shot. As you can see, the sun was already set where we were standing, but we just needed one last shot of the drone flying away from the Mikasa character and the tomb for Aaron to wrap up this video. So yeah, that was an incredible shoot. It was one for the memory books for sure, and I'm still incredibly proud of how it turned out. Whenever someone asks to see some of my work, this is usually one of the videos that I show them. So I've got a couple more that I'm working on right now. One for a great band called Sentient Ignition that we've got some really epic stuff coming up for. So maybe I'll do a breakdown of that once that video drops. But other than that, that'll do it for me today. Thanks for hanging around, and bingo bango.